Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to another episode of The Binge Brothers. My name is Max Walk, your host here on my YouTube channel. And this is my brother, my best friend, the man with a plan, the man who can do everything at once. His name is Kevin Corcoran. Hey, Kevin. How you doing, bud?
Hey, man, I'm doing fantastic. Just to show you how I can do everything at once, I'm going to chew a piece of gum, and I'm going to be able to do this podcast. Actually, just
maybe
kidding.
not. Let's just
because that's bad.
Okay, good.
That's bad radio there. Yeah, I don't want to chomp, but I'm just saying I can do it all, baby.
Dry comedy. That's what you were doing there. That's what he was showing his skills at this moment, guys.
Yeah. That I'm a funny dude. Yeah. Funny guy over here.
All right. Well, it's been a little
Max,
bit about
how
a month.
are we?
We're good. We've kept talking, but with transition, I think we talked about last time that I had just started a new job. Now I'm kind of getting more and more busy, kind of with end of the year approaching, and you started your new job as well, doing some medical sales. So we've been busy, but we really wanted to try to get back to a rhythm and getting these released every week, hopefully. So.
And Max,
Kevin,
when you say we, do you mean you and Grogu behind you?
Yeah, he's always here with us. He's always showing us support. Grogu, my maybe my most prized possession right there. I'm so happy I have
I feel like this is the first episode he's been on, right? Was he on the last one?
I don't think he was. It's his. I think that we might have had Mando Din Djarin here, but he finally got his proverbial son, so to speak. So, sorry if I'm talking away from my mic. I probably am. So that's great podcasting. But yeah, my corner's kind of evolving. Of course, it's very possible in the first few months of 2021 I could be moving, so I'll have to create an entire new setup. But
a new studio,
want to do some stuff with the walls, a new studio. Yeah, it's a huge state-of-the-art studio, definitely.
Yeah, like $20,000. You're thinking about putting into it, or is that hush hush?
Yeah, I'm talking with my bank about kind of the loan sizage on that, what we're going to put it all into, but we're not going to divulge that to the audience. That's pretty inside baseball, Kev, so.
Yeah, just put your parents' house down, or put your parents' house down for it, and get that loan,
exactly.
Baby.
I can maybe do an extension and add on to my student loans. That's, I think, always it's a smart investment, right? Just add on more.
So it's always you want to keep getting more in debt. You want to be more
exactly. Take a higher interest. I heard higher interest rates are what you're looking for there.
Yeah.
So,
and if you want to take it even farther, make sure that your children's children have the debt that's from you as well. So
yeah,
make sure
I'll sign. I'm planning on sending them to China to work for $5 an hour to do some work, so just for my loans. So
yeah.
A future kids out there. That's what you. I'm kidding. All right, we didn't come here to. As much as we'd love to just shoot the shit, Kev, we came here to talk about some pretty interesting and industry-shaking news here. Going on within the entertainment world, within the world of movies. So let's just jump right into it. We kind of have two main topics, and however those divulge into, there's a lot of things to discuss with both. So let's start out with the news that kind of started last week, but's continued to divulge, and more things are coming out about it, and that's this HBO Max news, Kevin. So Warner Brothers made the announcement last week.
Wait,
Warner Brothers made the announcement.
Going to be? Oh, sorry. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, Warner Brothers made the announcement that their entire obviously, which we haven't discussed. First, last month they announced Wonder Woman was coming to theaters, as well as HBO Max, the AT&T streaming service that AT&T also owns Warner Brothers, on the same day on Christmas. So that was kind of the first step. That was the biggest move so far of a theatrical blockbuster moving, a potential billion-dollar movie. In a regular box office, obviously, coming to a streaming service.
Yeah.
Now, before that even happened, before they had that kind of test of having a blockbuster HBO Max, last week they announced their entire 2021 movie slate is coming straight to HBO Max and theaters on the same day and date released. And are you getting any feedback? Maybe it's just coming to my ears, but – oh, no, we'll just –
you lagged for like a second there, but now you're good.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, something was just going weird with what I was hearing. So hopefully it's all good for you out there. So this is obviously gigantic news. This is, the first. Well, there was movies here and there. Trolls going straight to VOD. Mulan getting pulled. Soul getting moved to Disney Plus. Those were kind of all movies that were 2020 releases that they didn't. It really seemed like it could be a move away from movie theaters for these companies. This is the first major news that it really, even though they're doing the day and date, it's really not the same for these theatrical. It's screwing over. And we've talked extensively about the slow death of the movie theater business due to COVID-19. So movies involved here include Godzilla versus Kong, The Suicide Squad, Dune, which is one we're both extremely looking forward to, as well as some smaller ones like a new Conjuring movie, the new Will Smith film King Richard. Mortal Kombat is a movie they've shot that's scheduled. There's 17 in total that they announced. So this is gigantic news, and just let me get your thoughts initially on kind of that announcement before we go into kind of how it's evolved since then.
Yeah, I mean, it was one, I think, it was kind of just, well, I mean, you messaged me, one of the biggest things you messaged me this article, and Max, put a comment under it just going RIP to movie theaters, which is something that I guess is kind of the biggest thing. I think if you're someone who follows the news and the trends with movie theaters, you would notice that this is a huge deal just because right now, I mean, it's going to get at least, I mean, in theory, I guess you would think they get about half, but I mean, I'd say it's even more just because of, with COVID-19, all those kind of, me personally, myself, I have no reason to go to a movie theater to watch a movie when I can watch it at home and where I'm paying, $9.99 a month, which I'm not, don't tell my cable service, but I'm somehow get it for free. But even crazier to note too, dude, is the fact that it's not just Wonder Woman. It's going to be all those movies that you just named. And what's even crazier to me is just the fact that, and more. Yep, and more. It's just these movies, productions, any other year, they'd be making 600, 700, 800, possibly $1 billion. Dune was supposed to be essentially the next darker version of Star Wars. It's going to be something where, they projected to possibly break records. Now, how big of records, nobody would have known. I mean, of course, but, it was supposed to bring in some change.
Yeah.
So I think what's even crazier about this, Max, too, is the fact that the behind the scenes behind it all, the decision making before all this, was a little messed up too as well. Do you want to kind of go into that?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how it's what we've learned since this announcement, which was like Thursday or Friday. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of my general thoughts on the announcement as well before it can expand is that, this is scary. I mean, I kind of differ from you whereas if the movie theater is available to me and it's releasing on HBO Max the same day, I'll spend $10 and go see it in the movie theater and get that experience, for the first time. I'll probably do that for most of these movies, besides Wonder Woman maybe on Christmas with theaters.
So you'll actually go. You're going to go to the theaters.
I will in 2021 once it's safe and once theaters are actually open. They've closed in Minnesota. I'm saying like in general, I would go to a theater and pay money even if it's releasing the same day on HBO Max. But a lot of people aren't. So, once people, really realize they can spend this $15 a month to watch all these huge movies, that's what they're going to do. And it also kind of sets a precedent. Like they said, this is only 2021, it's a temporary shift for the current times. But this is a year-long thing, and this is an announcement that if somebody pays $15 for the whole year, gets all these movies, and suddenly it stops in 2022, they're going to be inclined. They're going to be mad. They're going to be like, they're going to get used to this. This is, an announcement that would shift the mindset of consumers that this is what they should expect from HBO Max, and now Disney Plus has to stack up to this. So that's what's scary to me is that people might be looking at these movies as, all these big movies should be coming straight to me in my home instead of having to go to a movie theater and have that experience. And I think movie theater chains, the distribution companies, hopefully I can speak, need to do some kind of outreach to, once this vaccine's through, hopefully by, midway through 2021, and it's really safer for these movie theaters to be open, and having larger crowds in those theaters, hopefully by, the summer. We don't really know. It's kind of up for debate. They need to do some kind of outreach program to sell that experience, because that social element of going out, getting out of the house, meeting up with friends for a movie, going on a date to a movie, or going with your family, that's something that's so crucial and like a core piece of like the social society of America almost, for those dates, for doing stuff with friends on the weekends. It's one of my favorite. It is my absolute favorite thing to do. Going to the movie theater. It's my.
Well, I mean, okay. Let me before we go into it. So I don't think that will necessarily go away. I think maybe the more common, like people who aren't common to go, like you and I will still go in theaters. Like I can't foresee AMC going out of business, especially what they just made this deal. And one thing you also need to point out too is it's only about a year. It's only a year they're thinking of doing this right now. It's tentative plan.
Exactly. But that's why I was also saying this is a year, that's one thing, but this is a plan that it's going to create, an illusion in somebody's mind that these movies, I should be getting them with HBO Max. Like, is it really only a plan for a year? Is this their plan moving forward? Now, maybe they kind of have so many big projects in the pipeline for HBO Max to grow that, like the things they're making now, they're planning for that they could go back to a theatrical after that and have enough big, movies and big TV shows for HBO Max, maybe DC shows that could really boost the streaming service and have those releases still. That's just the thing I'm scared about, is like people getting used to not going to these theaters. So now, obviously, this has evolved even more because the decision we learned. Let's preface this with this: the decision for Wonder Woman was made with a lot of talks with Patty Jenkins, with Gal Gadot. They have reportedly each received $10 million to forego a full theatrical release. That's like that was on the expectation that would have made $1 billion, and their back end
on the
deals.
Assumption.
Yeah, so they would have got about $10 million. This decision to do this for the entire slate was they did not consult with one director, one actor, one huge star of these movies. You're talking about stars like Angelina Jolie, Denzel Washington, Will Smith, obviously, Margot Robbie for Suicide Squad. They all had movies in here, these big actors, and that has really created a negative look at Warner Brothers from everybody in the industry. Christopher Nolan has come out already just, I think, 2 nights ago, really denouncing this deal. He's, Christopher Nolan has
he
been
doesn't
working
even
with Warner
have
Brothers
he doesn't even have a movie.
2002.
You're right, with Legendary Pictures and everything. Yeah. And he doesn't even have anything going out next year, or does he? I maybe
no, well, not at this time, but Warner Brothers, the big deal is he's worked with them almost exclusively since, I want to say, Insomnia in 2002 or in that range.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The Dark Knight
Honestly,
movies,
I think he has been.
Interstellar, Inception, now Tenet. All of these were Warner Brothers pictures, Dunkirk. So, that's obviously a big voice in the community, the entertainment community. So I think he said that his quote was, and I'm not directly quoting, was that these directors and actors went to sleep one night thinking they were working for the best company, the best entertainment company, and they woke up the next day working for the worst streaming service. So he really threw some shots out there, as well as some other
eloquent with words.
Oh yeah, as Christopher Nolan is. And that's also, people have reported that James Gunn, who directed Suicide Squad, was not happy with this news. Obviously, it's noted that agents for Keanu Reeves, for Denzel, and all of these actors were furious that they weren't included at all in discussions to get or treated the same way as Gal Gadot was for getting these news. So the agents are pissed, the directors are pissed, and even the biggest news is that the Directors Guild of America is very pissed, and they're discussing a complete ban, or what's the word?
What are you there? What is it? Where you protest? Not protest, but like they just. I mean,
I know the word.
Not going to work with Warner Brothers, right? I can't think of the word either now.
I can't think of the word either, and this is just, terrible
podcasting.
Yeah, but boycott. That's the word I'm thinking of.
Boycott. Oh, my God.
The Directors Guild of America boycotting Warner Brothers. Now, they obviously work direct and hand in hand with the Screen Actors Guild, the Producers Guild of America, the Writers Guild of America. These are the guilds that all, entertainment actors, writers, directors, they all work under, and they get their rights from these bodies. So that's big. If there was a boycott made by DGA, that means that Warner Brothers would be excluded from getting any directors under the DGA. Now, that's a huge move, and it's all kind of speculation. Apparently, it's just talks, very premature to really assume that would be the case. But, it really shows now it's one thing to look at this from I want the theaters to be saved because they're still releasing them in theaters. It's just giving so many people the option to watch them at home could hurt that. So that's one thing. But the way they neglected to talk with any of the creatives, with any agents for these stars and directors was extremely mismanaged. And it's not looking good at Warner Brothers right now. A lot of people are looking at them negatively. So I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know if they'll have to kind of pull back a little bit on this, but what do you think could be the fallout from the way they've kind of mismanaged that?
I just wonder if this is something that was kind of like short notice. I mean, I know they've been kind of, speaking with Wonder Woman, but yeah. I just wonder if maybe they just almost spur of the moment. They saw the fact that, what was the big movie that right before Wonder Woman? There was another big movie that was announced as well. Which one was that? Wasn't there something like a month ago?
Soul, maybe. Soul.
Maybe I'm wrong then. Okay, maybe it probably was just
there was the
Wonder
Witches Woman. Went to HBO Max. That wasn't a huge move, but it's already happened.
Yeah. That's it. I don't know. It just seems interesting. I just can't see a company, especially with the reputation like Warner Brothers, to mess up like this. I mean, they're one of the few production companies still out there that's not Disney. So I feel like right now they've got to work their tail off to even try to keep relevancy. Honestly, and doing things like this, I mean, it's going to take away your credibility. People aren't going to want to work with you, and it just seems like something that's I personally don't like to see because right now the movie industry it does not need something like this. They don't need any bad news like this. Right now, the movie industry is not doing the best because of COVID-19.
No.
And I think they need any kind of leg up they can. And with this going on too, I just think it just seems a little crappy now. What is going to happen? Are they going to maybe change it? Like make it to where we're kidding. Never mind. We're not gonna do this.
I don't know.
Are they just going to have to fork the money out? What's going to happen, do you think?
I think there will be a lot of things. So if my most realistic thing is they'll do this maybe for 6 months, for 5 months, and once it hits, if it could get back to normal, and if the box office starts improving a little bit, people start going to movies a little bit more, it's safer, people are vaccinated, they're able to, actually go out safely, then I could see it where they could course change their direction of their course maybe mid-year. But they've announced it for 2021, so it's kind of hard at this point to see what they'll do. I think that they'll definitely have to pay out make some deals with these agents for their actors, for the directors, for potential. Because it's even if the box office gets back to normal and they keep doing this for the full year, those Warner Brothers movies are they're at a disadvantage obviously at the box office wise. So the back end deals won't necessarily be accurate to what the actors should have received, and we'll have to kind of see. It's really an evolving thing, so we'll have to see how it goes out. I think that the first one after Wonder Woman is scheduled for February, and it's more of a a drama release. It wasn't necessarily a big blockbuster. So as the year goes on, we'll definitely have to keep an eye on it, and seeing how. I think a big thing will be seeing how Wonder Woman actually does at the box office, because a lot of theaters are closed still, so it's not the looks of it aren't great. Obviously, Christmas is a big movie to go in time, but COVID's also killing 3,000 people a day right now. There's 200,000.
No, I mean it's not 300. It's not 300,000 a day. Don't try to freak everyone out.
3,000. 3,000.
Oh, I thought you said 300,000. I was like,
I could have. I'm sorry if I misspoke, but I saw today it was like 3,000 yesterday or today or something. It's like 200,000 cases a day though, so it's really not good. Hopefully, I'm not sure. Hopefully that just gets better for obviously the whole world. We're talking about movies, this part of the world.
I mean,
so.
it's unprecedented times. This is something I don't think anybody, and this is gonna be a first. I don't think we've ever seen a movie, company do something, this radical. But at the same time, I mean, like I just said, it's unprecedented. I don't think anyone even expected the fact that think of a world where where everything was just going straight to streaming. I don't think we expected that for another 5 to 10 years, possibly. So I mean, it's just nerve-wracking, I guess you could say, and it's something that's just really sketchy. Again, not needed right now.
Yeah, so those are kind of our initial thoughts. As more is announced, there's more really to discuss. We'll kind of talk about it, but how about we talk about something a little bit more fun and some good news, some exciting things.
Yeah. Let's jump into that.
So we already discussed on a previous podcast that Jamie Foxx was added to Spider-Man 3, the new Tom Holland Spider-Man film, reprising his role as Electro. And this week, The Hollywood Reporter came out. They confirmed that Alfred Molina from Spider-Man 2, who played Doc Ock, Dr. Octopus, is reprising his role as Doc Ock in Spider-Man 3 with Tom Holland. Now,
some would say is maybe the greatest villain in the history of Spider-Man or in Marvel. One of the greatest villains from one of the best Marvel movies we've seen.
Exactly. So this is really, as 2020, anything can happen. We got Ben Affleck returning as Batman after he was announced. Michael Keaton's returning. Jamie Foxx, Doc Ock. So this is crazy. And
coming to America too. Never expected that.
That was when I got moved to Amazon Prime. So this is obviously huge news. Doc Ock is my favorite Spider-Man villain. Spider-Man 2 to this day is my favorite Spider-Man film. I still love that. I remember going to see it on opening night in a packed theater.
I think I would agree.
I was like 5 years old, maybe 6 when it came out, and I still have that memory with me, man. It's I'm pretty sure that
movie.
Look at this.
I was saying that movie, I think, is the reason why I'm obsessed with movie trailers. I saw that trailer years ago on like LimeWire.
Yeah, I mean, just right next to me, there's a Spider-Man trilogy on Blu-ray.
Nice.
Tobey McGuire is my favorite Spider-Man still. I think a lot of it has to do with, it was the first big movie that really kind of won me over. That's the franchise that really made me love movies, made me kind of geek out over comic book movies. And
would you have been like 5?
I think I was about 5. I think I was maybe 3 or 4 when the first one came out, and 5.
And I was like 6. I think I turned 6 when the first one came out.
Yeah. So So you were probably a few years older than me because I think I was 3 or 4. I don't know for sure, but I think I went to the first one in theaters, but I don't really remember that. I was really young. But the second one I remember going, and that was like so awesome because I loved Spider-Man. So this is obviously huge news, but I think the direct thought that everybody goes to is it confirmed basically now that Tobey McGuire and Andrew Garfield are coming back as Spider-Man 3? And yes, it basically is. Now everybody's talking about it. Nobody's announced. Sony hasn't confirmed it, but people in the industry are talking. They're saying, yep, it's confirmed. There's pictures just today I saw on Twitter of Tobey McGuire coming for a photo test somewhere. I saw pictures showing up in Atlanta. So this is pretty crazy. They're doing a live action Spider-Verse. They're bringing all these Spider-Men back. They're probably setting up some sort of Sinister Six, possibly. I don't know how they're going to do it all. Doctor Strange is in this, so that's how they can kind of bring the multiverse into this, bring different Spider-Men in.
Yeah.
So this is pretty insane. Kevin,
I mean,
what does this do to your excitement for Spider-Man 3?
Well, here's the thing. I think we all could agree that if this doesn't even happen, if they somehow just bring back Jamie Foxx, which I would say is maybe from the worst Spider-Man movie ever made, besides 3, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
whoever you want.
They're right there together. I mean, I think it puts Spider-Man 3 up there because I can kind of laugh at it a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, if they bring back Sandman and they don't bring Tobey McGuire back, I'll flip some. I'll just
How
throw
about
some shit.
They got to bring the landlord back from Spider-Man 2. That guy was the real villain. Come on.
Yeah, they got. Oh yeah, with the daughter.
Where's the rent?
Daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, the daughter.
Yeah,
the daughter. Yeah.
God damn it. That hits hard even more during a pandemic than ever. But I think I'm just excited. I think it's gonna happen. I think no one would be talking about it like the way they are if it wasn't gonna happen.
I think
it's gonna be really interesting.
Confirmed.
Yeah, are they gonna make Tobey Maguire probably shave down? Like he's probably been like putting ice on his face, trying to get those wrinkles to go away for the last few months. I mean,
yeah, maybe. I looked. He looks like he's not in bad shape from the pictures I saw. So he's in solid shape. You know, Andrew Garfield, who I think Andrew Garfield was a great Spider-Man too. He's not my favorite. He's probably my least favorite. He just wasn't given the best material. That's the tough thing with those movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those movies were just they didn't add any sort of character.
I like the first one. I do like the first one a lot, and I think his relationship with Emma Stone was really well done. That was like probably the best. Maybe the best relationship in Spider-Man. Gosh, Mary Jane, the first ones with Tobey Maguire was. I loved that though. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I would agree, dude. I agree with that. Emma Stone and him and Andrew Garfield are the best. Second, actually, hot take. The second Amazing Spider-Man, I think is like my number 2 favorite of all time. A hot take. Now I don't know why it just hit me for some reason. One, Hans Zimmer is in it. I love the fact that he was in that movie. There's just some insane scenes. I remember crying at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Take, and
that's the hot take of the day. I barely remember Spider-Man 2. I remember that they spoiled the last shot of the movie in the trailer. Now I remember that. I think that Emma Stone's death was really well done. That was exceptional. So I will give it that.
Really sad, yeah. I don't know. I just think it looked really cool, but I don't know why I loved it. Just loved it for some reason. But yeah, I mean, what do you think?
I'm the guy that likes Ben Affleck over Christian Bale as Batman. So we all have our downfalls.
Yeah, good point. So, what do you think is going to happen with them? I mean, do you think it's going to be Peter Parker? As if all of them are like today, so they're all in their 30s, 40s. If you ask, I guess.
Yeah, I think
Peter Parker from about 20 years ago.
The ages will work out because Tobey Maguire could be a very older Spider-Man in his 40s. Andrew Garfield will probably is more of like a 30s Spider-Man, so he's out of college. He's an adult, but he's not quite old Spider-Man yet. And Tom Holland is still playing that high school Spider-Man great, and the way he looks, he pulls it off really well. So that'll be really interesting. It'll be interesting to see kind of how they pull them all together to, fight. It's a lot to take on. I hope it doesn't take away from Tom Holland and his story, because that's really what it should be about. But it still gets me excited to see them all back. I mean, that's crazy to bring a Spider-Verse into this. Now, another rumor, not confirmed, that's come out today is that Charlie Cox is going to be coming in to reprise Daredevil.
No, really? Oh, I did see something like that. That's wild.
From the Netflix movies. Now, this is all complete rumors. It's not confirmed. Alfred Molina was confirmed. This is still a rumor. So there's not too much to really, this is really just like a what if. But that would be really interesting to see Daredevil fighting side by side with Spider-Man 2, man. And it'll be interesting to see if he does bring them in. Are they gonna bring him in as part of the universe of the MCU, or is he going to come in from a different multiverse to kind of prove that was not in the same universe? Because they could really solidify that, whether those Netflix shows were in a different official universe than the MCU officially, which they've never fully confirmed on. So
yeah,
that's an interesting idea. I feel like that would be more of like a cameo, a 5-minute thing, whereas Tobey and Alfred Molina, these guys could actually be more of a major part of the story, and maybe not side characters, obviously, but yeah, this is just exciting stuff.
Now, do we know, is this going to be fan service? Is this going to be something where it's actually going to go with the storyline? Do you think this is going to be, actually something that's, because I'm not going to lie, I listened to the John Campy and he brought up the point. He just doesn't want it to be something where it just, they're just like shown just to make people clap in the theaters or at home. He'd like for it to actually mean something for them to have to be with each other.
Yeah, that's really the only worry. That's what really holds back full excitement, because it sounds awesome. You're like, oh, 3 Spider-Man, a Doc Ock's back, Jamie Foxx is Electro doing a better version of it. It all sounds amazing, and it could be amazing. But the thing is, you don't want to have all these cameos and moments take away from the actual story of Tom Holland, of Peter Parker in our MCU, what his story is, how he evolves through this movie. So that's the worry. But the way that they've handled Civil War, which brought in new characters of Black Panther and when Spider-Man debuted, and merged a lot of things, but kept that a Captain America movie and kept him the core part of that movie and how he evolves through his, relationship with Bucky and dealing with that with Iron Man. I think that we just have to trust Kevin Feige that the way he's developing this story for the MCU, he knows that's going to advance that story for Spider-Man. So it worries me that it could be a lot of fan service, but as we know, fan service done right, as in Avengers Endgame, can be spectacular and create an amazing story, an amazing ending to an arc. So I'll trust Kevin Feige until I'm proven otherwise, really. That's where I'm at this point, probably.
And would you say this is probably the most pivotal? Is this going to be the one that's like, I know there's going to be 2 others released before this, correct, in the Marvel Universe before this one?
Yeah, so
this is coming out next December, right?
Next December, so that's only a year away, which is kind of cool. So as of right now, obviously Disney has a stock shareholder meeting or some kind of huge meeting tomorrow where they could announce new things.
Yeah.
They have, as of right now, May will be Black Widow, and November next year is Eternals, which is a completely new cast, and then December will be Spider-Man. So that's kind of where we're looking for a timeline. Now, they also have WandaVision in January. They also have Winter Soldier and Falcon TV series, which will come out. Everybody's assuming that it'll come out after Black Widow, because the assumption is Black Widow has something in its story that ties into Falcon and Winter Soldier, so they need that to come out first. Gotcha. So as far as that, I wouldn't say that everything's relying on this or this is a crucial part of, if they need to nail this, because when it boils down to it, it could be a huge movie, but it's not an Avengers movie. It's not Captain America Civil War. It's not something that the universe is dependent on necessarily. It sounds like it's just what I think they're kind of building with all of this is this kind of phase 4, which was only planned to be a 2-year phase, was going to be like a multiverse phase with WandaVision maybe going crazy and creating openings to a multiverse, which leads into Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange is in Spider-Man. So all that ties together. And then the other part of that would be maybe Black Widow's prequel leading into Falcon Winter Soldier being the more focused version of how are our core Avengers going to be moving forward. So with that being said, I think that it's just this is kind of the direction of the new MCU, and we haven't seen anything yet since the last Spider-Man and Avengers Endgame. So this is all new, a new phase. It's the post-Infinity Saga phase. So until we kind of see more, until we really get a grip on how they're moving forward, I don't know how critical this will be kind of for the MCU.
Well, it also is, dude. If you think about it, it's the only movie. It's the first movie essentially that is post-Avengers, a former Avenger, I would say. So that's kind of why I was thinking it might be a big deal. Also, it's just the fact all the drama that came last year. Think about all the drama that came last year with Sony.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That was crazy. Everybody thought they lost Spider-Man for a few months, and then suddenly they got it back. And I think that might have been a PR move. Still, I think
kind of did too. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah.
I think they could have. Everybody wanted everybody to get mad and sad, so they come together for the big announcement. But then maybe it all could have tied in, because now we're getting all these news about the Spider-Man all coming together. Maybe Kevin Feige had this idea, and Sony was like, no, we don't want to do this. But he was like, he had to do some more selling, and this was their plan. And he had to get them on board with bringing in Tobey and bringing in Andrew, and like he had to prove that they weren't going to, mess up that current Spider-Man. So I'm just excited to see what Kevin Feige brings us, and how he helps these directors tell their stories. So it's nothing but exciting. I can't wait. I'm just itching for anything MCU. We're officially, I think, 35 or 36 days away from WandaVision, the first new MCU material we're going to be seeing in over
first time in a year and a half. Yeah.
Year and a half. So I'm excited to see where that show looks really promising to me about how wacky it could be. I love Catherine Hahn. So 2021 could be a huge year it could be what brings us back to
2021 is being set up for a huge year. Exactly.
Yeah, and they could get a lot of that momentum back because, so much talk has been about DC with their fandom. They'll have Wonder Woman, but I think the only other movie next year for DC right now is the Suicide Squad. So they could really see them get that momentum back from that they had coming out of Endgame. So
yeah,
I'm just hoping for great movies and great shows. That's what I want. I want great content. That's all I can hope for. So.
Yeah, man, it's wild to think, dude. I mean, it's crazy because I think we all needed this break from Marvel, and now that it's happened, and we're all kind of, and especially with the pandemic going on, I think we could use a superhero movie that's not rated R like The Boys, which I love The Boys, but not exactly the most positive, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I know where you're getting.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like I cry when I see the Avengers and all that kind of stuff. The Boys is just a bunch of orgies between superheroes. Oops, I hope I didn't spoil next season. All right, let's
let's kind of wrap it up. Those were the big news here. We're planning on coming back Friday to review The Mandalorian, episode 7, which releases Friday. We will look at what Disney announces tomorrow at this, shareholder meeting or whatever they're calling it. If there's anything big, I'm sure we'll touch on that on Friday as well, because there is the potential for a lot of big news. So,
I was gonna say, do you have any predictions? Guys? Any quick predictions before we go on that? What do you think might happen?
I think they're gonna announce Black Widow or Disney Plus. I think they are.
Okay.
It's being announced today that they're not. But all the rumors that I've heard is that they are planning on doing this announcement. And I think that it's okay for this reason specifically. There comes a point where you kind of have to release some of these things. And for the movies that were supposed to come out in 2020, like Wonder Woman, like Soul, like Mulan, there's a point where we have to move forward with what we're producing. And these movies that were supposed to come out in 2021, we can't push everything back. So maybe we got to get Black Widow out. I think they might announce it coming out in Q1 of 2021, coming out in March directly after WandaVision ends, like on Disney Plus, maybe a month or a few weeks after WandaVision ends, to continue that momentum. And then maybe because that'll go right into Falcon Winter Soldier. Then they'll be able to do like a full maybe 6-month swing of WandaVision, Black Widow, and then Falcon Winter Soldier on Disney Plus, and really do a lot of things. One, get the mind back on MCU with all the fans. And two, that's a huge boost for Disney Plus, who after Mandalorian and after WandaVision, they're going to need a lot more coming through. They have these things, but there's still a lot of time before the next Mandalorian season will come back or any of those Star Wars shows come back. So other than that, I don't know exactly what they'll announce. There could be a lot of things I don't see coming, but
have you heard anything about Star Wars?
Maybe they'll announce, an official timeline where we should expect some of these shows that we've been hearing about, whether it's the Obi-Wan show, the Cassian and Andor show, or Mandalorian season 3. Maybe they'll firm what they're doing for the next Star Wars movie, what year they're expecting. I think it's tentatively 2022 or 2023. So maybe they'll announce exactly what that'll be.
That's rumored to be Taika Waititi, correct? Directing?
Well, he's signed on for a Star Wars movie, and we just don't know what that'll be. There's also Kevin Feige has signed on to produce a Star Wars movie. So it could be the same movie. We don't really know. But, yeah, I think maybe they'll announce film-wise the next big movie they're going to do, and maybe give some more clarity on when we should expect these other Star Wars shows and MCU shows for that fact, because they're shooting Hawkeye, they're shooting Miss Marvel, I believe. They're shooting these shows, man. So they're going to be coming next year. There could be a point where we're getting 2 MCU shows at once. We have no clue. Maybe Star Wars and MCU
that'll
show.
be wild. Yeah, that'll be wild.
So,
that'll be insane.
Look out for that. We'll definitely discuss all the newsworthy items coming out of Disney's announcements tomorrow, as well as talking about Mandalorian up to this point in season 2. So,
yes, sir.
And I'm Max Walk. You can follow me on Twitter at ZwachMax, ZWACHMAX. Kevin, where can they find you, my man?
I think they can find me on Twitter as Mr. Kevin Corcoran. And then on YouTube, you can find me as J3 Jobbers Pod. That is my YouTube channel. And then Instagram, I think it's also Mr. Kevin Corcoran. Throw a couple likes on my old pictures. Hell, I'll take whatever I can take.
And please like this video, subscribe to this video. That's how we'll get more eyeballs on us. Subscribing will be how you get these notifications. Hit that bell to get notified when we release these videos. So thanks you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Binge Brothers. Have a good night.